Welcome into Clippers Countdown as your 37 and 36 LA Clippers head out on the road for two starting today in Indiana against a team they made a pretty big trade with that brought them a couple of first round picks plus Benedict Mathurin and Isaiah Jackson. And while Big Zoo is out for the season, they still have enough talent on the Pacers where you can't just overlook them because they're 16 and 57. Because with 9 games left in the season, you can't have any slip ups. But lately, the Clippers have looked pretty locked in, I'd say. Kawhi led them with 27. Darius Garland had 24 and some deep threes, and Benedict Mathurin returned and had 23 off the bench in that dominating 119-94 victory over the Raptors at Intuit Dome on Wednesday night. Here was the math lead. Benedict Mathurin postgame on FanDuel TV with Jamie Maggio.
Everybody's role on the team, and I think we can achieve a lot of great things.
It's a beautiful basketball. This is a similar game to the other night against Milwaukee, where you were able to build a significant lead and then hang on to it and finish strong. Ty Lue said it was a very professional win against Milwaukee. I imagine he'll say something similar tonight. What is it about this team right now that's working so well, the chemistry and the communication?
We got to stop playing around. We got to take care of business. You know, we got to stay relentless and have no mercy throughout the whole game. Not because we're winning by 25 that we got to relax and take stuff easy. So I think that's the mentality I bring to the team, and I think that if everybody follow along, that we got a pretty good chance of doing a lot of things in the playoffs.
We'll see if they're all business today in Indianapolis. There was Benedict Mathurin as we get ready for the Clippers taking on the Indiana Pacers. Tip-off just about 59 minutes away. Coming up here on Clippers Countdown, we are going to have assistant coach Dante Jones on. We will also go back in time in Clippers Rewind and catch up with your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Indianapolis taking on the Pacers. Welcome back in. It's Clippers Countdown. I'm Adam Moslin. Remember, when the Dodgers are on AM 570 LA Sports, we'll be on the Patriot AM 1150 here. You can also get on the YouTube side or on iHeart and the radio app. Just search Clippers. Still to come, we'll have Carlo Jimenez on. Also, Grant Mona from the Sporting Tribune will be here. But first, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind. Back to, 15 years ago, January 17th, over 15 years, 2011. The Green Hornet remake with Seth Curry. All right, 40 and Seth Rogen was in theaters for a very short time. It bombed, but there was a hit on the radio at the time. It was Katy Perry with her song Fireworks. And at Staples Center, Blake Griffin was quite explosive against the Indiana Pacers.
Fake leaps and leans from 5, puts it off the window and in. 47 for the rookie. That is an NBA season high.
Yeah, Blake Griffin with the 47 spot there. 19 of 24 from the floor. That's making 80% of your shots. It was a special night for Blake. This was still a game from his rookie season. Blake, all-time great Clipper, will be celebrated. We'll have his jersey retired at some point here, but that was over 15 years ago on January 17th of 2011 against the Indiana Pacers back at Staples Center. Blake dropping 47 on them. Clippers in Indianapolis taking on the Pacers. Tip-off is just about 54 minutes away. Coming up, Carlo Jimenez. I'm Adam Moslin, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Pacers from Indiana. Tip-off just about 50 minutes away here on Clippers Countdown. Welcome back. I'm Adam Moslin. Coming up in just a little bit here, we'll get to your player to watch. But first, Carlo Jimenez joins us from Cambridge Fieldhouse. Carlo, how are we doing?
Adam, what is up? I'm great. I'm hanging out and enjoying life. Got a great view here at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. It was 80 degrees yesterday. It is 40 degrees today. So I don't know how I packed right for this one, but you know what? We're here and we're ready for a good game between the Clippers and the Pacers.
Just a cool 81 degrees today in Burbank, where I'm at here in the iHeart Studios. Let's talk about this Clippers team. Winners of 3 in a row after losing 4 straight. 119-94 was the final the other night against the Toronto Raptors, where this Clippers team, they led by double digits the last 38 minutes of the ball game, Carlo. We talked about it a lot post-game, but they really stepped on the gas, and they started pretty fast and then finished strongly down the stretch with some key three-pointers from Kawhi, from Brook Lopez, and, of course, Derrick Jones Jr. to end that third quarter.
Derrick was huge in that third quarter, and it felt like the
Darius
Clippers
Garland.
Oh, yeah.
But DJ as well.
I don't know why. I just ran with it. I just trusted you.
And that's how good Derrick Jones Jr. has been as of
you know
late
what?
shooting
If
it,
we're being honest, I mean, this is a guy who's having a career year from the three-point line. He's been excellent from inside the painted area. And since the second MCL sprain has really stepped up his game. I mean, since the All-Star break, 12 points per game, 31 minutes a game. I mean, he's playing at an elite level. The Clippers have needed him too. But Darius Garland had some moon balls at him. He shot some shots from the parking lot, maybe from downtown, if you will, in that last game. It was unbelievable to see him get going on the offensive end. And I think, he started out great with the Clippers, but his last 6 games, he's turned it up to a different level. Averaging 24 points a game, 53% from the field in 30 minutes for the Clippers. He's been that good on the offensive end, and it shows. This Clipper team is number 1 in offensive rating in the month of March. Now, we'll see how things continue here for the Clippers as they try to continue to find a rhythm and a rotation. Ty Lue did mention postgame, look, I got to get more shots for a guy like John Collins, who didn't score in that game. Was definitely not my player to watch. And then an opportunity for players like somebody like Jordan Miller, who's going to be available here today. The Clippers are fully healthy for the first time in what feels like forever. And how does Ty Lue rotate guys in and make sure everybody touches the rock? That's what we're going to find out these next couple of games.
Yeah, forever. This Clippers team with 9 games remaining here, getting healthy at the right time. But Darius Garland, it was Coach Lue talking about his range post game, was asked a lot of questions about those 30-footers he's been putting up, like the logo 3 ball he had to end that third quarter. And he is 21 for his last 42, the last 2 seasons from 30 feet out or more. And Coach Lue just expressing how much that opens up the offense and driving lanes. Kawhi was asked about it too. It just gives them a different dimension out there offensively, and has certainly contributed to that offensive rating you mentioned there, Carlo.
It's been big. I mean, I think for this Clipper team, Adam, for them to play at this pace and this new style with really little adjustment period just shows, one, you have to credit the coaching staff for being able to mold themselves, right? Feel like, all right, we're not a staff that plays a system. We're a staff that plays the players and the personnel that we have every single night. So to have the Clippers be able to have those guys be able to play a different type of style and the staff being able to adjust, really impressive. I think also, Adam, what's been impressive about this Clipper team is there's been opportunities for them like that Toronto game where, in the losses in the month of March, giving up comebacks has been a common theme, but they didn't see that continue in that game against the Raptors. And that's what's important, right? The ability to have a bad trend. I think 3 of their 5 losses in the month of March have come when they're up double digits, go up double digits late in that first quarter, early in the first half, and then hang on to it the rest of the way. It was impressive to see the Clippers do that in that ball game. And this is a group that's got to continue to stack wins. Obviously, Portland is literally at their heels, so you cannot let any game slide. And you got an Indiana team coming in. Adam, we'll talk about this later, but they are number 1 in the NBA in field goal percentage and 3-point percentage their last 6 games.
Ooh.
But they're 25th in true shooting, so I don't even know. I don't understand it. Explain it.
Are they not making free throws either like we saw with Toronto on
I don't know, Adam.
That Intuit Dome where they went 1 of 7 to start. But you mentioned it, though. This Clippers team, they have been giving up leads, and part of it is because, as you point out, they're 27 defensively in second half. So for them to be that much better and to hold them to just 94 points against the Toronto Raptors the other night, that's a little bit of growth there and building better habits. And you want to see that from this team down the stretch of the season, the last few weeks here. That's something Kawhi Leonard continues to stress.
Oh, my goodness. And Kawhi Leonard has built the best of habits this season. He has been next level for this Clipper team. You want to talk about a guy who's, if he gets to 20 points today, it would be 50 straight games with 20 points. I believe he'd be just the 14th player in the history of the league to have a streak like that. But then let's not forget he's also top 3 in steals per game. Like, this is still somebody who's been elite on both sides of the ball, Adam. He's 2% away from the three-point line to getting to 50, 40, 90. Currently sitting at 38.4%. So hopefully he can hit all of his next threes these last 8-9 games, and then he can get to 30, 50, 40, 90. That would be perfect for Kawhi. In all seriousness, this is somebody. Lon Murray had a great article today in The Athletic about it, but his leadership style is different in that he's not maybe the most vocal leader with the team, but he sets the example. And you hear guys around the league talk about it, and really around the Clippers, that there's not a harder worker in that locker room. There's not a guy who's getting treatment more, who's on the court more, who's staying late, who works on a shot in the game than Kawhi Leonard. And he sets the standard. And when your superstar is putting in that much work and the young guys see it, they feel like, they have to be able to be at Kawhi's standard. Now, maybe not his standard of play and excellence, because that's hard to achieve. We're talking about a top 5 player in the NBA, but the seriousness, the detailed approach that he takes every single night, you see that blend throughout this Clipper team. I thought Nico Batum had a great interview earlier today on Old Man in the 3, where he talked about there's about 5 minutes every game where we expect Kawhi Leonard to just take over on both sides of the ball. And he said it happens every night. And you know what? We'll see when it happens today. But it does really feel like it becomes Kawhi's world for a good 5 minutes of every basketball game.
The claw machine is in Indiana as the Clippers are taking on the Pacers tonight. Tip-off is just about 45 minutes away. Carlo Jimenez on the call. More with Carlo coming up next here on Clippers Countdown. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers taking on the Pacers in Indiana. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. It is Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your LA Clippers, coming up in just a little bit as we're just about 42 minutes away from tip-off in Indianapolis. We'll get to your player to watch. Grant Mona also will be here from the Sporting Tribune. But let's get back to your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez. Carlo, Brook Lopez, last few games playing some of the best basketball as a Clipper, looking more and more comfortable out there now in that starting role, and actually rolling to the rim a little bit here and there, getting downhill some two-pointers from the Brookie Monster.
It's interesting. Ty Lue pointed that out after last game. He said, we love that Brook can shoot the ball. It spreads the floor. It's another element that our offense can use. But he also said his efficiency when he rolls to the rim is pretty high. So they want to get him more downhill, get into the painted area. It's been one thing that's been a different change for this Clipper team, Adam. Since March 1st, they are second in the NBA in points in the paint, averaging 57 a night. So the Clippers have done a much better job of getting inside the painted area, of putting the pressure on defense. It's a big reason why they're getting to the free throw line so much, is they're attacking the paint. And Ty Lue likes to say, get to the paint or die trying. That's a big part of this Clipper offense. They want to attack that paint and either spray it out or get downhill to the rim. Brook Lopez being a big part of that. I think he has continued to be really a huge piece of this Clipper team as the season goes on. And I also, Isaiah Jackson, I mean, this was somebody when Giannis was playing, you thought, well, Isaiah Jackson, he's really not in the rotation. We probably won't see him much this year. Maybe next year Isaiah will find a role in this team. But credit Lawrence Frank and the entire front office. You get Isaiah Jackson in that trade, and now he's become really a vital piece of the second unit. Rick Carlisle talking to the media earlier today saying he's not surprised with the way he's played. Feels like this style fits his play style more. And even Ty Lue giving him huge compliments after the last game, saying, I didn't know he could post up small guys like that and be so efficient on the post, but he has been, and they want to use that a little bit more. I think the Clippers have really, for two guys in Isaiah Jackson and Brook Lopez, who were multiple times this season, it felt like there weren't going to be a lot of minutes for them. They're stepping up in big, big ways, and credit those guys for staying ready all season long.
And now Isaiah Jackson and Benedict Mathurin back in Indiana, taking on their former team in the Pacers. Isaiah Jackson coming off a game where he was 6 of 6 from the field. And Benedict Mathurin came back, played 27 minutes, had 23 points, knocked down a three-pointer, got to the free throw line early and often, and spoke post-game about how the toe's feeling a little bit better. He had a week off. He's been dealing with this all season long, and it could help him with his three ball. That's been something that has been bothering him, which would be huge for this team.
It would be really big. I mean, Benedict Mathurin, 32% from three this season. Hasn't been there yet with the Clippers, but he does have that in his repertoire. And it was just funny to hear him be so happy and giddy. I've never seen a player who missed 4 games. It felt like he missed 4 months. He came back and said, this is great. It feels like a girlfriend I haven't seen in a long time, was the quote he used describing his time away from basketball. He feels like, he called this Indiana a second home. It's going to be all love. He said he really enjoyed the fans. I wouldn't expect any boos when Mathurin has the ball today, or Isaiah Jackson. They are going to do a tribute video for both of those guys after the first break. But Benedict Mathurin, Adam, he's been on a tear coming off the bench that is kind of historic. There was a great stat earlier today, but since the All-Star break, he's averaging 21.6 points per game off the bench. There are only 2 players in the last 25 years to average more points off the bench after the All-Star break. You got to go back to Tyler Hero, 2021-22. Hero was a All-Star not too long thereafter, and Lou Will averaged 21.6 in the 2017-2018 season. We're talking about 6th man of the year, Lou Will. That's the kind of level Mathurin has been at off the bench for this Clipper team. I mean, he's been elite. That Ty Lue has allowed him to play his style of basketball, and he's really sped things up on the offensive end. His ability to get to the free throw line, we've talked about it all year, but the whole time he's been a Clipper. Not only does that help the offense, but it just as much helps this defense set up. And the Clippers have been better since March 1st, 15th in the NBA in defensive rating.
Might have to have Benedict Mathurin as my player to watch.
Oh,
we'll talk about it more coming up. But Carlo Jimenez,
I never get the pick first,
is on the call. Clippers taking on the Pacers.
Anarchy is
in Indianapolis. Tip-off is just about 38 minutes away. Up next, that player to watch for me. Carlos will come a little bit later. I want to give him more time to think, just to make sure
okay.
he's got the perfect guy for this matchup.
I do. I have the player to watch. Adam is his player to watch. I have the player to watch.
Oh, okay. Carlos spitting after what happened with John Collins last time out. We'll talk about it. This is Clippers Countdown right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers taking on the Pacers from Indianapolis. Tip off just about 34 minutes away here on Clippers Countdown. I'm Adam Oslin. Welcome back. Still to come. We'll have Grant Mona on from the Sporting Tribune. We'll also get to your injury report, but first.
This is LA Clippers basketball.
Watching this guy play right now is really something.
Players to watch.
Show Carlo what time it is. I'm going with John Collins in this matchup today. Clippers taking on the Pacers. JC, unfortunately, in 22 minutes, 0 points, but didn't get up a lot of shots. Was 0 of 2 from the floor against Toronto in the Clippers' 119-94 victory on Wednesday night. We know he's capable of much more. Still had 5 rebounds out there, but Coach Lou talked about it post-game, getting him a little bit more involved and getting him back into rhythm. This is a guy that in the month of January shot 60% from 3. Follow that up with still 39% from 3 in February, but he's been banged up here and there. So the neck issue going on with John Collins, we just want to see him fully recovered and finding that timing that he had earlier here in 2026. John Collins in Indianapolis, my player to watch. Clippers taking on the Pacers. Coming up, your full injury report. And then we will have Grant Mona. I'm Adam Oslin, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers taking on the Pacers from Indianapolis. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your LA Clippers. Still to come, we'll have Grant Mona on the very next segment. But first, we do want to get to your injury report. So Jordan Miller is available coming off the back soreness. They missed him on Wednesday against the Toronto Raptors. But good news for the Clippers. Ty Washington back in the G League. As for the Indiana Pacers, we know they're without Ivica Zubac and that fractured rib out there. Obi Toppin, though, is available. So is Aaron Nesmith. Tyrese Halliburton, of course, out for the year with that Achilles tendon. They're loading up for next season. Still got some guys, though, with that championship-type pedigree that maybe they would have had if Tyrese Halliburton didn't go down in that Game 7. Fully believe they could have easily won that game in the finals last year. A lot of those guys still remain. Clippers taking on the Pacers tonight. Tip-off just about 30 minutes away. Up next, Grant Mona from The Athletic, and make it the Sporting Tribune. I've had law on way too much. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers taking on the Pacers from Indiana. I'm Adam Oslin. Welcome back in. Tip off 28 minutes away here on Clippers Countdown. Coming up, we'll get to your drive around the league, but join the show right now. At Gmona48 is where you find his handle. It is Grant Mona of the Sporting Tribune. Grant, thanks for doing this once again here on Clippers Countdown, my friend.
Yeah, good to hear from you, Adam. Good to be back on. See if the Clippers can go on the road and get some wins.
I won 3 in a row. Let's go back to what happened against Toronto on Wednesday at Intuit Dome. Clippers 119, Toronto 94, and really a very convincing victory. I think Clipper Nation was very happy about this. They led by double digits the last 38 minutes of the ball game against a good Toronto team. I know they were missing Emmanuel quickly, but the Clippers, to me, that was one of their better front to back performances of the season.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that when you get this team, how they're getting together collectively from injury, they're getting Jordan back tonight against Indiana. They got John back. Benedict Mathurin came back and looked healthier than he did before. That may be a reason for his improved jump shot. I know Law Murray asked him about that after the game against Toronto. But this is a team, Adam, that is finally starting to get whole. And I'm trying to knock on every piece of wood everywhere I go so that this stuff doesn't turn on me. But I think this Clipper team, the way they're trending, their offense, the way it's playing, if they could just get that defense, I know I'm not going to say back to the 2024 levels, but if they can get it to, just above average, I think that this team could make some definite noise in the play-in and the playoff. But right now they got to focus on getting wins, separating themselves from Portland, from Golden State, because I know that we think that this Clippers team is running away with it. They're not. They're not locked into 7 or 8. They're not locked into that first play-in matchup. They still have the ability to fall back to that 9-10. So all of these games, I don't care who they're playing against, they are very important. And that win against Toronto was very impressive because, like you said, Toronto's no slouch. They're fighting for their own playoff positioning. So to get a blowout win against that team, that shows how good this Clippers team has been recently.
You mentioned their defense maybe kicking into gear. How alarming is this stat to you, Grant? The Clippers defense in first half of games this season, they're ninth in the first half. They're 27th in the second half of games when it comes to defensive rating. Does that match the eye test to you? What are you seeing?
Yeah, I think that with this Clippers team, that is it's been a roller coaster basically all season. They go through stretches, Adam, where it looks like they are locked in as they were last year, being a top 3 defensive rated team. But it looks like they're just going through the motions, or they go with the leash a little bit. And we've talked about this team being bad in second halves overall. In the first half of the season, when they were going through that really rough stretch, the second halves were dooming them. And they obviously got together over the second half in this stretch that they're in, where they've gotten back over 500. But if this is consistent, they have the personnel, in my opinion. Obviously, losing Yannick at the backup 5 spot, that hurts a lot in terms of your defensive versatility. Isaiah Jackson has been very good. If they can remain consistent, because you look at guys like Chris Dunn, Derek Jones Jr., Kawhi Leonard, like I mentioned, Isaiah Jackson, those types of players are not just good defenders, Adam. They have elite players on the defensive end. And that's why it's a little bit of a head scratcher as to why it's not as consistent as it has been. Now, you can look at the personnel from last year and year and kind of make that comparison, but I think they have the personnel on this roster to be a very consistently good defense. But like you said, that stat is staggering, and it's kind of a head scratcher right now. But if they can get it at least a little bit more consistent, I mean, with the way their offense is playing, that's trending in the absolute right direction heading into April.
You mentioned Isaiah Jackson there. How would you grade out this Clippers front court since they traded Ivica Zubac? We know he's out for the season and won't be playing tonight for Indiana. But also since the Yannick injury, what have you seen from Brook Lopez and Isaiah Jackson, how that could look moving towards a play-in playoff situation?
Yeah, Adam, I talked to Ty Lue. I asked post-game, getting Brook into different spots, not just on in short roll, in the pick and roll. And he said that's what they're trying to do. Each man shoot the 3. That's why they do so much, and that's why they still do. But they're trying to get scenarios on the offensive end. And Brook even said it himself. He said, I'll Coach Swan. He's such a brilliant basketball mind. He has such a brilliant basketball IQ that I'll do literally whatever he says, whatever they want me to do. And that's just kind of the work has had since Zoo was traded. And then you look at Isaiah Jackson, like he's shooting 56% on 2-pointers, and the blocks that he has, his athleticism is on full display. And for a guy that is undersized at that backup 5 position, Adam, he's playing above that size that he's at because of his long wingspan, because of his athleticism and his ability to get down the floor with Darius or with Benedict Mather, and that chemistry that they have against, ironically, Indiana. But that chemistry that they have is very evident. And Isaiah Jackson has honestly surprised me. I thought he was good, but he has surprised me with how good he has been at that backup 5 spot. So, yeah, losing Yannick hurts a lot because of the size and the athleticism, but I think Isaiah Jackson has done such an awesome job just filling in that role, and then Brooke filling in that role for Zoo, too.
Darius Garland filling up the hoop with buckets with his 24 points on 9 of 16 shooting and some deep threes. And Coach Lou was asked about it post game. You were there, but I just think there's another element and another level that Darius Garland can get to as a player under Coach Lou because of that 3-ball element. You look at a lot of the advanced numbers, and he's not that far off from some of the best to do it when it comes to taking deep 3-pointers and being able to make them at a high level. What have you seen from Darius Garland since he's been a Clipper here? And just, how much different this offense can be with a guy like that out there on the floor?
It comes down to confidence. Like this guy, there's one thing to shoot those threes and another to make them. You have to be able to shoot them first. And he's taking those threes. But like you said, he's shooting them at a very high clip. Now, you early on this, you know it very well. The clip that he's shooting at from 28 to 30 feet is just incredible. And his confidence at that point guard position, his shifting. I mean, that word is probably the biggest word that I'm hearing from everyone around media and the Clippers right now is shiftiness, because that's just what it is. He is so quick with his dribble. He can change the direction so quickly. He can get down the floor so well. He can fit into tight areas when he's double teamed, and he can make the pass out of those double teams. He had that pass to Derrick Jones Jr., I think, in the last game against Toronto over his head. He just makes these quick decisions that, sometimes his dribble and his handle, it gets away from him a little bit, but you see the potential. Like if this is, obviously he's going to cool down a bit. I'm not hoping for that, but I'm pretty sure that he's going to cool down a bit. But if you look at the floor, if this is maybe not even his ceiling and he could get even better than this in terms of his overall offense, I mean, you have a special player that, we knew that he could shoot, Adam. Like, I think we all knew that. And we asked all the Clipper players, did you know he could shoot like that? Some of them did say yes, but some of them were just shocked. They're like, honestly, no. I mean, where he's shooting these balls from, it's Steph Curry-like, it's Trae Young-like, and his efficiency is actually over those guys. I know not at the same volume, but if Darius Garland can unlock even more of this offense for this Clippers team and get even more comfortable, I mean, what does that look like? Because their offensive rating is off the charts right now. If they could get even better with that and that chemistry with him and Kawhi get even better, I mean, then we're talking about something else that I probably shouldn't even mention on this show. It's incredible.
You mentioned Kawhi there, Grant Mona of the Sporting Tribune with us here as we get set for the Clippers in Indianapolis taking on the Pacers. But Grant, you bring up Kawhi, and this is somebody that tonight has a chance to become the 14th guy and the first ever over the age of 30 to make it 50 straight games of scoring 20 or more. Just how would you encapsulate this season for the Claw?
Man, it's probably the best offensive season I've seen in his career. I've watched him when he was at the Spurs and when he transformed from a role player into the number one guy, and when he upped his offensive game, worked on a shot, got the 3-pointer, and that 2021 run, which is unbelievable basketball by him in that 21 run. But even after that, he's still been such a sound, efficient offensive player. And this year, taking it to another level is just, it's unprecedented, Adam, because you would think that Kawhi doesn't have any other level to go to as he ages. Well, he's aging like a fine Cabernet Sauvignon. Like he's playing incredible basketball right now. And his 3-ball he's shooting it more, but he's also making it more. The conviction that he has on the basketball floor, where he is still getting to his spots against some of the best defenders in the world. And we talk a lot about Adam. Oh, well, the league's getting younger. Oh, the league's getting quicker. Well, those young, quick, athletic defenders are trying to guard Kawhi Leonard still, and they're still not having success against Kawhi. So he has been such an awesome piece of this turnaround. He is the main piece of this turnaround. And you know that when this time comes around and we get down towards the playoffs, it's not just playoff Kawhi. Like, it's late March and early April Kawhi, too. He goes to another level when he just smells or senses the playoffs. So, yeah, he has been absolutely fantastic. And the fact that he's moving up MVP ladders, like, it just speaks volumes. I know he's not going to win it, but the fact that people are even taking notice for a team that's one game over 500, that tells you just how good he is.
Last one for you here, Grant. My player to watch is John Collins. Who you going with tonight with the Clippers in Indiana? And he's underwater. I guess it'll be a mystery. Grant, I think I hear you again. Who's the name? Who's the name?
It is either Mathurin or Jackson, Adam. It's one of the two former Indiana guys, and then I'm going to get out of here so you don't have to chop up my voice anymore.
Appreciate you doing this. Grant Mona from the Sporting Tribune at gmona48 is where you find him. Check out his work there. Clippers doing work, trying to make it 4 straight. Kawhi trying to make it 50 straight games of 20 or more as they're taking on the Pacers from Indianapolis. Coming up next, we'll get you a drive around the league, and then Carlo Jimenez. I'm Adam Moss. You're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers taking on the Pacers from Indiana. Tip off 14 minutes away. Coming up, back to Carlo Jimenez. But first, your drive around the league is brought to you by Toyota. It's the Here and Now sales event at your Toyota dealer. The clock is ticking. Don't wait to grab a great deal on a new Toyota. We make it easy. This is the first game tipping off in the association tonight. Coming up a little bit later, Trailblazers hosting the Dallas Mavericks in Portland. Go Dallas and Cooper Flag there for sure. They're right behind the Clippers in the standings. Golden State Warriors, also of note, hosting the Washington Wizards at home. Denver Nuggets will see the Utah Jazz. Raptors taking on the Pelicans in Toronto. And the Oklahoma City Thunder will be facing the Chicago Bulls. Clippers in Indianapolis taking on the Pacers. And Pascal Siakam, Spicy P. Tip off just about 11 minutes away. Coming up next, back to Carlo Jimenez right here on Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers taking on the Pacers from Indianapolis. Welcome back. I'm Adam Osland. It is Clippers Countdown coming up, your keys to victory. But first, back out to Indiana and back to your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez. So, Carlo, you mentioned it earlier. Indiana is at the top offensively in some categories, not when it comes to true shooting percentage, and therefore 1-5 their last 6 games.
Yes, despite being number one in field goal percentage and number one in 3-point percentage, they're 25th in true shooting, which tells you that they struggled at the free throw line in the last 6 games, but they've not struggled to score the basketball. 130 points last time out against the Lakers. Look, this is a team that's rolled out 41 different starting lineups this year. They've had 29 players signed to their roster, which is the highest number to appear on a team's roster during one season in Pacers history. They've had 18 guys combined to miss 361 games. They've just been snake bit with injuries this season, and obviously with the incentives set forward in the NBA, I mean, they have all the incentive in the world to hope they have a great odds for the lottery. 1-16 since the All-Star break. I think the Clippers coming to this ballgame, though, understanding that there are a lot of guys on this Pacers roster, though, that are trying to put stuff on film, right? You're coming towards the end of the season right now for this Clipper team. 9 games left. You look at Indiana on the other side. They've got guys who are on 2-ways, who are on 10 days, who are on Exhibit 10s before this season, and now are on full-time contracts or 2-way contracts, and they want to get a contract next year. And Rick Carlisle kind of spoke to the fact pregame that this year has given him that perspective that those guys are battling like it's the finals every single night. So, maybe the results haven't been there for Indiana, but they are fighting, and these guys are playing hard when they're on the floor.
Yeah, Clippers have to be aware of that. And going back to the Clippers, Nico Batum was great last time out. There are moments during a season where if a guy's getting a little bit older and he has a couple of bad games, people start to say, oh, he's washed. He's not the same. Nico Batum was fired back at the haters from 3 specifically. He's been knocking them down at a very high rate all season.
Yeah, I mean, above 40% this year, just the ultimate connector. His ability to make the right pass, to keep the ball moving. One of the best post passers, like passes to the post in the NBA that you will see. His ability to get guys open downstairs, and then also just steadying force, like somebody in the locker room. I mean, if there's a blueprint on how to play a long time in this league, look at Nico Batum. Be a good teammate, knock down your threes, and do whatever the coach asks, and that's what he's done. And that has helped him extend his career. This is year now 18 for Nico, but he'll tell you year 20 playing professional basketball because he played 2 years overseas in France before coming to the NBA. Just really somebody who's a steadying force and a calming force for this Clipper team, Adam. Anytime he's on the floor, you feel like good things happen with this Clipper group. Great to see him get a couple of threes to go. And then also great to see Ty Lue find spots for him in this rotation. We talked about how, look, the Clippers have the most healthy bodies they've had in quite some time tonight. That's where you don't worry about if Nico Batum plays 5 or 20 minutes. He doesn't care. Ty Lue's just trying to fit in wherever he thinks makes sense. And as you mentioned, he might be a big piece if the Clippers can make that push in the playoffs. So maybe trying to save some of his legs for April and May.
John Collins, my player to watch tonight against the Pacers. What do you mean, wait? What do you mean? What?
You said earlier your player to watch was Benedict Mathurin.
I said he might be because you talked him up so well. I felt like I had to go with
your
him.
Player to watch?
Were you going with John Collins again? Did I take your player to watch for the second straight game?
I was going to double down, but all you.
Wait, so now you going Benedict Mathurin here?
No. I mean, I just thought, I woke up this morning and I was like, John Collins, I'm going to double down. I know he's not going to do that to me 2 straight games. Now, when you said Benedict Mathurin, I did think to myself, man, that would probably been a smarter pick. But I'm still going with my guy. I'm going with John Collins. So you can take Benedict Mathurin. You can take Benedict Mathurin.
All right, I'll take Big Ben.
I'm gonna go with my gut here. I'm gonna go with my gut, and I'm taking John Collins. There's no way, Adam, he does not score again today.
Bold call.
That's my pick to watch. John Collins will score the ball today, everyone. I promise you.
Clippers taking on the Pacers. Carlo Jimenez is on the call. Tip off just about 7 minutes away. Coming up next, your keys to victory right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers taking on the Pacers from Indianapolis. Tip-off just about 5 minutes away with Carlo Jimenez. Welcome back in. It's Clippers Countdown. Let's get to your keys to victory here. Carlo mentioned it, but this Pacers team has some talent, especially on the offensive end when they're playing the right way out there. While they're 29th on the season offensively, they have been much better than that as of late, and that's a little bit concerning here. Lately, they're 5th offensively over the last 6 games in particular. 1-5 during that stretch. Obviously, their defense hasn't been good enough. They're not perfect in all facets of the game, but this Pacers team still competitive enough, and the Clippers have to start off the right way on this road trip, which means taking care of the basketball early on and also imposing their will defensively, establishing that defensive identity out there. You cannot afford to look past anyone with just 9 games remaining. Clippers tipping off in Indianapolis. Coming up next against the Pacers, Carlo Jimenez is on the call, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.